Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. And today we are looking at a couple of offerings from Arno Bernard Knives. These are visiting from Thunderbird Gear. Go over and check them out. They tend to specialize in some really nice higher end stuff, and so if that's what you are in the market for, then Thunderbird Gear is a great place to look. They also have some good flashlights, pens, a number of other EDC things in stock, and I need to actually place an order. I've got one in my mind that I'm getting ready to order, but I'll tell you what it is once it gets here. In the meantime, let's go ahead and talk about these knives. We have, first of all, here the Bongo drop point N690 blade. Beautiful polished stonewash finish on this knife. A little bit of jimping there on the back. The handle is warthog tusk, and I have to say this is, and I've had this same experience with a couple of other Arno Bernard knives. Both of these do something pretty unique, and that is, despite being highly polished knives, the grip on these is really secure and very confidence inspiring, which I have to say I really appreciate. Sorry, I knocked the card for the Marmoset over. Um, this, as I mentioned, is warthog tusk. The handle on the Marmoset is sheep horn. Both of the sheaths are these very simple slip style sheaths, which do work exceptionally well. Just let me quickly show you here. Very satisfying, a very high carry. If you're the kind of guy who EDCs a fixed blade, this is a really nice setup to use because one, the knife rides very high, meaning it's up and out of the way. You can sit in your car, you can, put on a coat and the knife totally disappears, or even a t-shirt and the knife totally disappears. And then if you need to get it out to cut something, man, it feels so good, and it's easy to get in and out, and the retention, because it's you've got so much sheath there in contact with the handle, the retention ends up being really good. Okay, now I do need to qualify this in a couple of important ways. First of all, these are expensive knives. Okay, the fit and finish you're seeing here, and you know the kind of work and attention to detail is off the charts, but it's also something you're going to have to pay for. Okay, so I think we kind of understand that. Arno Bernard knives, many of you are familiar with them, and you know that they're not cheap. The N690 steel is acceptable, but not amazing. Pretty common, by the way, to see N690 steel on high-end knives coming out of Europe, and of course these are from South Africa, but that's a pretty common thing from there as well. Yes, it would be nice at this price point to see them in a better steel, but N690 is certainly adequate. Okay. Um, where these shine is, of course, the fit and finish being essentially perfect. Like, these are absolutely works of art. The ergonomics being just so natural, especially, I like larger knives, and this Bongo just feels so good and so natural in hand. It is an absolutely charming knife to handle. These are the kind of knives that I have a hard time putting back away. Like, when I'm working away at different things, you want to just kind of look at them. They're absolutely gorgeous, and the style of these is sort of minimalist, but sort of natural and outdoor feeling. Um, yeah, very beautiful knives, exceptionally well made and very useful. The handle is very comfortable. The blade is nice and thin behind the edge. The grind is really nicely done, and sort of that very high flat grind with that thin edge means it's going to slice really well. And again, as I mentioned, with the sheaths, the way these are done, absolutely great option for um, someone who EDCs a fixed blade on a regular basis. Thought I'd bring in a couple of quick comparisons, and you guys probably know before I even start what they're going to be. All right, I have here a Lion Steel M2M. and a Lion Steel M4. And then last but not least, since we have a smaller knife here in terms of the Marmoset, I thought I'd drop in. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. There we go. Thought I'd drop in the H2 as well. Okay, so how do these measure up? I mean, Lion Steel is just going to be, straight up manufactured in Italy knives, so they're not going to be hand done. They're not going to have the same attention to detail. Obviously, the value is going to reflect that. So these Lion Steels are going to be considerably less expensive than the Arno Bernards, but the level of refinement and the level of finish that you're getting is not going to be quite the same. Okay, so that's why I wanted to bring these in. I wanted to point out that this is not your typical production knife. This is something in a slightly different category. You might compare this to any of your higher end folders and kind of make a similar comparison where what you're paying for is not so much the materials exactly, but the fit and finish and the handwork that's gone into creating a really, really compelling knife. Okay, let me move these guys out of the way and we'll draw some conclusions here in terms of, recommended or not and who's this for and that kind of stuff. Okay. So, would these be the kind of knives that I would buy or recommend that you go out and buy? Um, Depending on what you're looking for, okay? Uh, if you want something to take into the woods and beat on, if you want something that you might lose, if you want something that you're going to throw in the back of your truck, no, don't buy these kind of knives. Okay, if you're looking for something that is exceptionally high quality that you want to carry and use and maybe even give as an heirloom type of tool, that's where these knives are really going to shine. Okay, they are impeccably well done, beautiful design, beautiful fit and finish, beautiful materials, especially the handle materials. Of course, the drawback is that N690 steel, and I've had some conversations with Arno Bernard about some of this stuff, and materials are very different to get your hands on in South Africa. But I would love to see them offering knives in something other than N690. But that said, these are so, so gorgeous. Now, I want to throw in a ruler really quickly, just so you can see the size of these, and then we'll wrap up the video. Okay, so this small little marmoset here is 6.5 inches. Again, I've got to emphasize how good this feels in hand. Rarely do you see a small knife that is this comfortable and feels this good. Normally small knives, I complain about the handle being uncomfortable and awkward and kind of a little bit annoying, but here, this is really, really nicely done. Moving over to the Bongo, we've got 8 inches overall. All right. Nice hand filling handle here. Really nicely crowned spine. Both of these have this beautiful crowning all the way around, carries through to the handle. Both of them are really comfortable. You don't have a single area that you feel that feels any kind of edge or sharpness. Everything is beautifully finished. Um, and as I've been saying, these are the kind of knives that are for a particular person, and that is someone who appreciates something handmade and really looks for something more elegant than say your typical Lion Steel or K-Bar or something like that. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, yeah, these knives are not going to be for everybody. These are not knives that I would buy and take into the deer woods with me, although they could certainly do that job. These are, high-end fixed blades that, have a level of detail and a level of finish that you're not going to see everywhere. And so that's what makes them special and appreciable. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out Thunderbird Gear. We will talk to you soon.